What's happening, YouTube? Back in the day, Gamer here. Thanks for tuning into my channel, and today I'm coming at you with a new product review. This is something that I've been waiting to come out for a long time, and it's finally here. As soon as I caught wind that it was actually happening, I jumped on the old internet machine, pre-ordered myself one, had to wait a couple of months, and then BAM! Here it is! It's the Retron 77 by Hyperkin, and it is the first ever, to my knowledge, Atari clone that plays in HD. Yeah, if you were truly from back in the day, this is the final piece of technology that you've been waiting for to complete your gaming puzzle. So let's pop this sucker open and see what's inside. BAM! Look how small this thing is. Alright, just to compare, here is my actual 2600 console from back in the day. Look at that. You could fit 2.5, 3 of these things in the size of this. Here we got the controller, which they made some big improvements to as well. It's got a couple of little notches on each side, like Hyperkin is known for doing. That's great because then it doesn't dig into your palms. It has a button on each side. If you happen to be that weird 1 out of 10 people that's a lefty, good news for you. You didn't get screwed on this. It does hold up well. You know, it's been a while since I put some time into playing Atari because can't hook it up in HD and the flat screen's mounted to the wall. It's hard to get at the jacks, but now there's no worries. Another big improvement on this is that you got a real long cord, which is fantastic as well. So let's plug this sucker in and see how it actually works, because that's what you want to know. So there you have it. Atari in HD. Wow. Pretty much the same as I remember it. It's crisper. Splat! You don't see scan lines. You know, it obviously hooks up real easy. HDMI. For some reason, we're not getting any sound. It's got something to do with my capture card, because when I hook it up through straight HDMI cable and bypass the capture card, I get the sound. When I plug it back in to capture it, not getting anything. That's very unfortunate, because I want to hear that shrill, nasally sound of the frog going splat! So here's a little bit of the Star Wars game everybody always bitches about. You know, I always kind of like this one. There's nothing special to it. It probably has nothing at all happening throughout the whole game, other than just attacking AT-AT after AT-AT. But I always found it kind of enjoyable. Probably had a lot to do with the music, which once again, we're not hearing any of right now because of whatever is going on with this Retron 77. So here is a super unique title. MASH, the video game. There's a lot going on here. You're driving a helicopter, navigating through the trees, picking up wounded soldiers, taking them back to the hospital while trying to not get shot down by this tank. The controls aren't great. They're not terrible. The graphics are a little bit above average for Atari. Then you get this sub-game where you're playing Operation, the video game. You gotta pull bullets out of people. You got a time limit. You can't hit the side or it calls you ferret face. Now we got a little Space Invader action. Classic arcade title. I will never forget back in the day, my Uncle Pete was in a Space Invaders competition, and I had always thought it must have been just like that movie The Wizard, but apparently they went down to the local mall, and the department store, I believe it was like Elder Beerman's, had to just sign up and, you know, play Space Invaders and we'll take your score. Well, apparently he won, and I always thought that he was like the wizard. But this game is actually a lot of fun. So here's an odd little homebrew called Gopher. At least I think it's a homebrew. Who knows? It's kind kind of difficult to figure out, but the gophers there are tunneling underground. They're coming up to try and get your carrots, and you need to stop them from stealing your carrots. Typical story. So here's a Magic's title called Dragonfire. Now, right off the bat, graphics here are pretty damn nice. When you're out here on the outdoors board, it's nothing to write home about. But inside the Dragon Den, the items that you have to pick up can pretty good. This is 30 some years old. And now, my favorite Atari game of all time, Demon Attack. This is another game I used to play with my grandma, except we played this one a lot. I always really liked this game. Found it way better than Space Invaders. Missile Attack was another classic that I never really cared for. But now, playing Space Invaders, I do like it much more. It's a solid game. The graphics on this are pretty good, just above mediocre. The sound is very good. The colors are very good for Atari. Once again, we cannot hear it because of whatever's going on with my capture card versus the Retron 77. So there you have it, guys. We played a pile of old games and this new clone console. For the most part, they all worked. Some of them didn't, but I believe that was due to the age of the cartridge. The problem I had with the sound not working, I can't exactly say why, but when I did bypass the capture card and hook the HDMI cable directly from the TV to the console, it did work fantastic. So, not sure what the problem was there, but at least we are getting sound out of the console itself, so probably has something to do with something else. So we can't blame that one on Hyperkin. But, in conclusion, is this worth the $80 it was to get shipped to my house? To me, it was. Atari was my first console. If you are from the back in the day era, it obviously was yours as well. Sure, you played it here and there, maybe on one of the flashbacks, but to be able to hook it up to your TV in your game room and play it just like you do with all your other consoles, to me, dropping $80 is not a problem at all. I do think they kind of tax you on it. The thing being as small it is, coming with one controller, this is more like a $40 machine, $50, but would I do it again? Yes. So in conclusion, does Back in the Day Gamer give you his seal of approval on this Hyperkin Retron 77 Atari HD clone? Yes, he does! Yeah! If you're like me, you got that shoebox of these old Atari 2600 cartridges buried way in the back of the closet. Jump on Hyperkin's website, pay $80, get this shipped to your house, bust that shoebox of old games out, and play them. That's exactly what I'm going to do right now. I've only tapped into like 20% of the games from back in the day, so I'm anxious to get this video over with and get back on the joystick, which is beveled to keep the corner from digging into your palms. Good job, Hyperkin. And as always, adding the extra long cord is a super plus. So, if you do have any more questions, leave them in the comment section below because I'm going to spend a lot more time right now playing this sucker. So like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And until next time, YouTube, keep it retro!